when we first picked up our 2001 CE Lancer, it looked like a washed up car from the sex spec era. Luckily, with a few bargains from Facebook Marketplace and a lick of paint, we had this thing looking pretty damn good. But now that we're doing a turbo rear wheel drive swap with our CA18 motor, it's time to take the overall look of this build to a whole new level. And so today is going to be a very spicy episode indeed. So from the very beginning of this rear wheel drive swap, I've had a vision for how this car is going to look. We're going to all the effort to do a rear wheel drive swap. It's an insane amount of work and it's coming out super nice, if I may say so myself. But I'm not just interested in having this car be unique in terms of the way that it sounds and obviously the drivetrain that's in it, but I want it to look the part as well. I want this thing to absolutely snap necks. I'm not interested in just having this thing look sleeper or look chill. Yes, the old Fevo setup looked absolutely amazing and I was stoked with that, but now we are taking this thing to the next level. So I showed you guys last episode that we have this crazy front bar, which is an Evo 5 looking thing. I don't exactly know where the bar came from, but it is plastic, it's not fiberglass. It looks very much like an Evo 5 bar. It's just a little more aggressive in places. So just around these corners, it's a little more time attack looking, and obviously in the middle here, we've got this point, which we're going to kind of mitigate by having a diffuser run through here to have it look nice and smooth. We also have the rear flares. These things are just going to transform the way the car looks on the rear. But there's one part that I've wanted for this car and I've been searching and searching. Marketplace, the internet, everywhere to figure out how I could get it. It is not easy. These parts, you cannot get them here in Australia. You have to import them from somewhere. I can't buy genuine Evo ones, A, because I can't find them, and B, because they are pretty much the cost of what I paid for this car just to get these parts. But the other day, I got a message from a friend who said, hey, I found these on Marketplace. You have to get them. I messaged the guy instantly, and we actually ended up doing a really cool deal. He was a subscriber of the channel, had his own Fevo build, and well, I'm just gonna show you what we've got. So we have Evo front guards. Man, I've wanted these for so long for this car. Look how aggressive these things look compared to the stock guards. I'm actually just over the moon that I even found these. So they were going to cost about $1,000 to import Evo fiberglass guards from overseas, which I was pretty much willing to do at this stage, but I'm so happy that these popped up. They are fiberglass, but they're super light and they are very nice quality as well. So they're from a whole kit called the Damned kit, which is a very aggressive looking kit. As you can see, I got the front bar as well. So my goal for this car is to have it looking super aggressive, really wide and really low. As you guys can probably tell with my other cars, the Z, the E36, they're both slammed, they're both wide. I just love that aggressive look. And I wasn't prepared to settle for anything less, especially with this build and the way that it is. These guards are really gonna fulfill that look. I also got the front bumper. I ended up doing a deal with a guy called Zach. I gave him my old front bumper in exchange for this front bumper and some cash for these guards as well, because these guards match this front bumper. This front bumper is too aggressive for what I'm going for. I actually really like this front bar that we have here, but obviously it's missing a couple of things. Someone has cut the grille out and patched it with fiberglass here, and obviously the sides of this bumper aren't going to match our wider Evo guards. So the plan is we're actually going to cut this bumper up here, cut the grille off. That's going to patch back onto this bumper here, and we're also going to actually use these parts right here and mold them into this bumper here, because again, I love the Evo 5 look of this bumper. It's exactly what I'm going for. I think it's going to suit the car really nicely, especially once we get all these wide parts on. So we'll sacrifice this bumper, but it'll be for the greater good of this bumper. Obviously, pumped I got the flares. I also got our front wheels re-drilled to 4x114 so we can put them on our car. And that means today we're going to have this car on the ground on all of the wheels and tires. That is freaking exciting because we're going to get a vision of how this car is going to look with the end result. You should be excited. But before we start fitting the body panels and stuff like that, we do have to do one mechanical thing, and that is fixing the mistake that I made with our LCAs. So I don't know if you guys can remember, but a bunch of you guys pointed out, I extended these LCAs, they're just tacked on at the moment, but I actually extended them in the wrong place. So as you can see, the caster arms are here, right? And I extended them before the caster arm. You're actually supposed to extend them after the caster arm. So this is now in the wrong position and cannot bolt up to our caster arm bracket, which is no good. But I want to get the wheels set in the wheel well to where we're going to have them before we put the new wheels and tires and stuff on. So quickly, what we're going to do, we'll whip the LCAs out, we're going to cut them, and we're going to reverse my mistake. With any project like this, you are going to make mistakes. It is just a given. But as long as you are learning, then they're not really mistakes. I'm not mad about it. And personally, I've never been afraid to make mistakes anyway, because I'm always pushing the boundaries and it's just part of who I am. But let's get these LCAs freaking done. re-extended LCA. Not bad. I even managed to mimic the line of the LCA through here with this bend to give it added strength, which is cool. We will go ahead and fully box that underneath to add strength as well, but I'll wait for Woz to do that with me so we can go ahead and throw that into our car and fit the caster arm up for the first time, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and do that now. But yeah, stoked. So I finally have a whole side fully completed with the suspension S13 into the Lancer. It's pretty freaking sweet. So this is it all here, tied in nicely, and it works beautifully. Very, very happy with how everything looks, but ultimately it's going to come down to what it looks like when it's on the alignment rack and how all of the measurements kind of tie together. While I was here, I also just quickly undid our side skirt because we are going to be obviously removing this guard. But I'm just stoked that we finally have the suspension in, because that means we can put the car on the ground with wheels on. Yeah, let's go ahead, chuck some tires on and see how this is all going to fit. There is something so cool just about like a naked looking car like this, slammed on its face. Look how wide those wheels stick up. It just looks so cool naked, like with the front frame rails all painted. The engine looks so good in there. So now it's time to whip off our old front guards for the last time they're going. Once again, our SP Tools electric mini ratchet comes in massive handy with this job. It also makes filming so much easier with one hand. So good. So the car's looking pretty naked right now, the guard's off, and I really want to do this together with you guys on camera. So we have our guard and it's all ready to go on, I think. Old guard, so the weight difference between the two, I think, like literally, this weighs, it would weigh literally half of what that weighs, which is crazy. The construction of these guards is beautiful as well, but they're quite expensive, so you would expect them to be, but let's like go and put them on the car together. So just slip it in nicely. Got to build a little bit of suspense for you guys before I show you exactly what it looks like. Kind of sitting in the right spot for now. Oh, Jesus. Instantly changes changes the look of the whole car. That is insane. Look at our fitment. What? Literally bang on, and we guessed that as well. It's got a little lip under here that we can shave off, and then we can go lower as well, because I want this thing to be absolutely boned out. That looks crazy. I think our side skirts will fit once we do. Yeah, for sure they'll fit. I'm literally so happy I could cry. Like, this build it's so much cooler and bigger and better than I ever thought it could be. So here's a stock guard, and then here is the Evo guard. Woo! Just changes the whole look of the car. I've got to fit the flare on the side as well. I'll do that now quickly. YouTube magic, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Man, the wheels are embarrassingly inside the guards at the rear because of the MX-5 rear end. That's so funny. But we'll fix that up. Don't you worry. We're going to be flush to the guard. It's unreal how much just literally some guards can change the look of a car. But that just looks so Evo spec now. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the guard on the other side of the car, and then we'll start playing around with bumper stuff. Now, I know some of you guys in the comments are going to be like, Mike, I like that bumper. I like the crazy Fast and the Furious 1 looking time attack style bumper. I get it. All of this stuff is subjective. That's the beautiful thing about cars. Some people like one thing, some people like another thing, and we all do what makes us happy. But just for you, I will test fit that bumper just to keep you guys happy. But I'm not running it. I'm looking at you. I'm not running it. You can't convince me. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Let's put the guard on. Boom, both guards on, satisfying as if. Bloody hell, guys. Sorry if I sound excited. This is blowing my mind how fucking good this looks. So absolutely just wow. Now let's do some bumper things. First, we'll test fit this crazy ass bumper and then we'll kind of go from there. It's not gonna look good. Stop. Don't. It's not gonna look, maybe it might look right. I don't know. All right, I'm talking to you. You cannot tell me that looks good. That does not look good. That looks rubbish. That looks something like someone's tried really hard to have it look like an Evo, but just didn't quite get there. Oof, that's not nice. Oh my God. Look how far out it sticks. And it just doesn't fit good, and it's just not very good at all. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I'm telling you in real life, it does not work at all. The guards are beautiful, fantastic, very happy with them. But then the front bumper, it's like, what is that? Very sorry if you're in the comments and you like it, but we're about to cut it up, so RIP. It is what it is, but this bumper is the go. So we'll put the plastic, nice bumper back on, and then we'll kind of figure out what we're gonna cut off this bumper and how we're gonna make it all work. But that just ain't it, guys. That ain't it. Now we're getting somewhere. God, that looks so much better than the other bar. And we're starting to get that Evo look with the car, which is exactly what I was going for. And surprisingly, like, the bar fits up really nicely to the guards. There's obviously just this little bit right here, which is bigger, but I think I can mold that in, like, to this bumper pretty nicely just by cutting the bits off this bumper and then doing a bit of fiberglass work. So it's not even the whole piece either, because this bumper's already wider than a stock bumper. So it's like halfway in between. So we just basically nip some of that off. That'll fit perfectly through here, and we'll just round it off nicely so it molds into the bar, and then that'll literally be the bar that fits the guards, which is so nice. But I think you can agree, like, that looks so tough. I literally have been just like spending minutes at a time just standing back and staring at it because it's that good. Like, I'm so stoked with the way the CA looks and just how Evo-like this whole car is starting to look. One thing that's actually going to help us is obviously like the wheel sitting in the arch is slightly forward because we've dialed in caster, because we're going to be doing drifting and stuff with this car. As you can see though, these arches are actually bigger. And you can see here, we basically can cut this off down here, straight down. It'll do it so it looks nice and tidy, but that basically gives us the room we need for the wheel to rotate, which is awesome. And then after that, we mold this bit on and the bumper's pretty well good. But what we're gonna do right now is we have our grill part missing, which is really the last piece of the puzzle with this bumper. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off this bumper here and kind of see how we're going to get it to kind of fit. We won't be molding it in today because that's a big amount of work, but at least we can get somewhat of like a look as to how this is all gonna look once it's all together. But come on, like, you can't not be absolutely stoked with that. That is just, that's wild, absolutely wild. We're officially done for the day, and this thing looks crazy. Oof, look at that. I am absolutely wrapped with that. That looks insane. So pumped. Really starting to come together now. I think I'm definitely much more a fan of this bumper for sure. At the moment, this middle piece obviously is just sitting there. We've got a bunch of work to do to make it fit nicely, but obviously we'll do all that with the body work. But now that I look at it, white kind of is starting to look like a vibe. Jump in the comments. Should we paint this thing white? Zach Baldy, is that all right? Because yours is white, so I don't know if I want to step on toes. But like, The white with the silver engine bay, ooh, it looks so damn clean. Man, this thing is just beyond my wildest dreams in terms of what I wanted this to turn out like. Like this is starting to get real good. You can imagine the intercooler just right there, the fog lights. Ooh, damn, and I'm just so stoked with how this bumper fits with those guards. Like really, we could not even mold this bit like here and it wouldn't even be an issue. Like I'm fine with the way it looks just as it is. And the fitment on those wheels, like I reckon I'll add a little bit more to the LCA so we can dial in a bit more camber, but that fitment is just, you can't get better than that. That is amazing. The rear fitment that needs to go in the trash. We're gonna fix that. And we'll fix the side skirts, but like, this is gonna be an absolute neck snapper when it's done. I'm gonna hit up Cam Martin, who is the king of making things sound really nice, and figure out exactly how we're gonna make this thing sound absolutely off its tits. Of course, an external wastegate's gonna help that for sure. And then once we put the Evo bonnet on, obviously that's gonna complete the look as well, so, oh, yeah, I'm so freaking stoked. And that's all she wrote for this episode, guys. What an episode, though. This thing is really starting to take shape now. If you are enjoying this series, do me a favor, share it with your mates, help push it out and help grow the channel. It's growing really nicely at the moment. Of course, it could always be bigger, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. We'll be back next week, of course, with another video, but until then, guys, have an awesome week. I think I get a bonus episode coming out this week as well, so enjoy that. But cheers, guys. Thank you guys for the support. Much love. Peace. Evo, Fevo, rear-wheel drive thing, Frankenstein. So good. Bye.